and welcome to our moon circle for full moon in Cancer. This is a great one because Cancer is ruled by the moon. So I'm joined here by Tracey. Hi, Tracey.
Hello. Yeah, Cancer and the moon, hey?
I know.
Strong energy.
It's so much fun. So much fun. And I'm Dee, and we Knew the Moon. So thank you for joining us. If it's your first time, first of all, I want you to get cozy, comfortable, somewhere preferably that you won't be interrupted, wherever you can focus on yourself and take a bit of me time. Tracy's going to take you through guided meditation and journaling points. So have a journal to hand, whatever form that might take for you. Maybe it's a notebook, maybe it's a piece of paper, maybe it's an electronic one on your phone or on your computer. I will quickly go through the crystals and the aromas that are useful for this time of the lunar cycle and in this zodiac sign. You might want to have them around you during this guided meditation. So aromas, as we always say, we call them aromas because you can use them in many different ways. You could use them in cooking. You can, if they're flowers, have them as a bouquet. You might use them in your essential oils and your diffuser, or as a candle or incense, or maybe as, bath products when you take a moon bath for a lovely full moon bath. So the aromas today are chamomile, great for a tea.
Calming one day, isn't it? I think much needed for this moon.
Also, super easy way to make your moon baths more luxurious is to take those tea bags or the loose leaf tea and sprinkle it in your bathtub. So if you've got chamomile tea, why not put it in your bathtub? It will release those aromas while you're in the bath and give you that lovely, calming, healing sense.
Oh, that sounds lovely, Dee. And rose petals as well. How fancy would that be?
Yeah, which rose is also one of the aromas for this time.
It's on the list. There you go. Chamomile and rose. Yeah.
So very, very easy way to give yourself a sort of cheaper bath bomb, let's say. Lily is one of the aromas, which again, lovely bouquet to have. Myrrh and palmarosa. Now they're very grounding, very earthy smells. We've also got rose and then sandalwood and yarrow. So we'll go into a bit more details about them later. But if you've got any of those aromas available to you right now in the form of a herbal tea or oils, then please do make use of them. Or just whatever is calling to you. There's no wrong answer here. If you have other oils that make you feel relaxed and ready for this, then use those, please. Crystals, hematite, lapis lazuli, and rose quartz. So again, I'll tell you more about them later, but if you've got those available, then please do grab them, or any crystals that you like. Over to you, Tracey.
Thanks, Dee. Full moon in Cancer. Bit of an emotion one. This sign energy, Cancer, is ruled by the moon. So you think it would sit very well, which it does. But it just means that it's a very emotional time. It's very strong and it can feel quite overwhelming to some people. It's a sign of water, so very spiritual, very feminine energy. And I very vividly remember this time last year of just breaking down into tears for no reason. So advance warning on this one that it can be that time of just release. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, really try and harness that energy and embrace it and know that it will pass. I think that we should use this energy as well to really practice on self-care. Let's be kind to ourselves. Let's enjoy just a few days of full moon in Cancer to really nest, nurture, take some time out. Let's not do anything that's going to be too overwhelming if we can help it. Anything that's going to dig too deep. It's really just going to be one that we try and find a little bit of peace and let go. Okay, so hopefully you're all nice, comfy, cozy, warm. You've got your crystals, your smells. Maybe you're in the bath. You're in your gentle, safe place to begin. First, let's start by finding our comfy position. There's no rights or wrongs with meditation, so this may be sitting, it may be lying. For some as well, you may want to try a child's pose or some sort of safe pose where you feel secure. And as always, we'll begin by focusing on our breathing as we relax into our body's natural rhythm and try and let go. Breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. We let go of the tensions as we release our day, and we let any thoughts that float into our heads gently flow out with our breath. Let's practice a really gentle breathing as we relax into the body's rhythm. Our breath isn't forced, just a natural, guided breathing into the body's natural flow. And as always, we'll start with our body scan, starting at the feet and working up through the legs and the body. I'm going to let you do this at your own pace today, so you don't feel pressured. And you can use time to focus on any areas that you feel tense, that you need to let go. Give them a wiggle. Feel yourself relax into your safe, calm, peaceful, serene place. And as you scan through your body, it may help to just picture or visualize a warm glow flowing through. Any colour you choose, any colour that feels familiar or safe to you. It's flowing through your feet, surrounding you. It's protecting you. And it's shielding you. This is our cloud of warmth and safety and all things secure. And as we relax into our meditation, into our space, into our here and now, we may find thoughts that pop into our heads, worries, to-do lists, feelings, people. And with each thought, just breathe it out. Allowing those thoughts to enter easily and leave. There's no pressure here to find your moment. Just be at peace. And as your thoughts settle, you may notice you're left with a feeling. Maybe it's stress, happiness, agitation, focus, anxiety. As our brain begins to settle, allow us to feel our soul, allow us to feel our inner feelings, Allow us to understand. Allow them to be. And just like the thoughts that entered your head, we're now going to breathe out the emotions and let them leave our body as we breathe in through the nose and breathe out to release anything that's settling, any feeling, anything that is blocking our way to pure peace. We're creating a zone of tranquility, a relaxed state, and just being. There's nothing to do. There's nowhere to go. There's nothing to worry about. For this moment, just be. And as we relax deeper and deeper, and we release our thoughts and our feelings, I want us to now focus on a time, place, person, event that we had in our life that made us feel this way. At peace. We felt safe, calm, secure, happy, comfortable, and just enjoyed the moment that was. This could be a childhood memory, a holiday moment, a place you visited, a social event, a time when you remember feeling this way. There are no worries, no questions, no fears, no complications, no anxiety, no anger. You were just in a moment. Focus and hold on that safe space. Focus and hold on that feeling. Focus and hold on how you got there. Focus and hold on what made you feel that way. And just enjoy this moment. Breathing out our anxieties and breathing in peace. Breathing out our emotions and breathing in calm. Breathing out our worries and breathing in just being you. A sense of just being. Enjoying the moment. And when you're ready, allow your little cloud, your little security blanket, your safety bubble to shrink. To disappear. Hold it in your heart. As you hold on to that feeling. And we start to come back to the room. Breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Open your eyes. Focus on where you are. Take a moment to just breathe in your surroundings. Come back to your body. Give those toes a little wiggle and those shoulders a little shrug. As we're back to the moment, back to where we are, the full moon in Cancer. When you're ready and when you're back in the room, Dee will guide us through a little bit more about full moon in Cancer. You may want to pause me. I wanted to take you on quite a deep meditation there. So if you need a little bit more time to just hold on to the feelings, process what you thought, come back to reality, then please feel free to pause. Sometimes, when you have a movie night, if you make it a bit special, take the time to make popcorn, get your comfy duvet, set up your space, put that time, love, care into it. It just makes it even a bit more special. And with Cancer, you need to create this cloud of security for these few days. This isn't about much reflection. It's not really much about journaling. It is about getting through, embracing these emotions and knowing that it's safe, it's fine, it's okay. And I wanted to create this cloud of kind of security and take us to a moment of where we felt safe and at peace. So that if things do get a bit rocky out there, because let's face it, we have to still probably go to work and we have to get on busy trains. Maybe someone will behave badly around us during this time. I'm not saying shut the world away for these 3 days. Take yourself back to that safe space, that safe, happy time. Just take a moment to just get yourself feeling like that happy time that you had. For me, Dee, it's a very clear morning. I woke up, I think I was about 6. It's one of my very early memories. My mum had been baking in the kitchen. She was singing to Foster and Allen and the sun was shining on my care bed duvet. And these are moments in life where you're at peace. Your brain notes them in very clear detail because there's not much else going on. You can actually take yourself to that moment really easily. So that's why I still remember to this day what bedspread it was and what music she was playing, because I just had this moment of taking stock of where I was.
But it's not a coincidence that we have those happy places from when we were children, because we forget to do that, right? We fall out of the practice of having those mindful moments when we become an adult. We're always thinking about the next thing or checking something on our phone or whatever. That's what all this mindfulness practice is about. It's trying to get back into that childlike joy of just being in the moment and just being happy and just not focusing on all the stresses in life and this, that, and the other, but just enjoying where we are.
What I like to do is when I do have these clear moments of being somewhere beautiful, seeing something beautiful, or experiencing being around someone beautiful, is I almost take like a brain photograph, I like to call it. So it's like my mind is taking a snapshot of this moment, and I consciously try and make myself log it. And by doing that, that causes me to pause, take note of what I'm seeing, take note of what I'm smelling, take note of what I'm feeling, just for a minute, and promise myself that I will remember this beautiful moment for years to come. And as a result of doing that, it might sound a little bit deep and a little bit strange, but honestly, try it. As a result, now my brain has these very clear moments. There aren't many, but they're beautiful moments that I can take myself back to in times of when I need happiness. And the safety blanket as well. I really noted last year, full moon in Cancer, a little crab wants to crawl underneath its rock and hide away. And I very much felt like that little crab wanting to grab a blanket. So in this practice, I wanted to make a visualization blanket, a little ball, a little cloud, a little orb, aura, whatever you want to call it, that's surrounding you, and hold it tight and expand it out when you need to. Puff out like a hedgehog with its spikes, protect yourself, armor up, and then put that little ball back when you feel safe again. So you're finding that kind of little bit of Cancer armor, which is nice to have.
I loved it. And I really associate full moon in Cancer. Those of us that have periods will get this analogy. I associate it very much with that moment of realization when you have your PMS, but you don't realize it's PMS. So you have a day or two of just feeling so down, so not yourself. And you're just asking yourself, what the hell is wrong with me? Why do I hate everything and everyone and life so much? And then the next day you get your period and you're like, oh, that's why I was feeling like an emotional mess. It's not me.
Yeah. Crying for no reason is a big one.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So full moon in Cancer is a bit like that, where you feel an emotional mess and you're like, I don't even know why I'm feeling like this. And then you realize, oh, it's because it's full moon in Cancer. And then that's a relief, because then it'll pass within a couple of days. That's the beauty of these things, right? It's not your new being and identity and soul. That's not who you are now. You're not an emotional mess. You are just having a couple of days of a bit of a roller coaster, because now is a time where you might be feeling emotionally clingy and needy.
Comes up nicely, Dee. Yeah.
So it's a great time for quality time at home with your family, with your loved ones, with your friends, because you want to spend time with people who know you, understand you, ground you, and who make you feel more sure of yourself.
And safe,
Give you more confidence and more reassurance and stuff. Those are the people you want to spend time with, not the people that make you feel insecure, not smart enough, not good enough, whatever. Stay away from those people for these few days. Or forever, but definitely these few days, and spend time with people that boost your confidence, because they're awesome and they know you and they love you. Now is a great time for forgiveness of others and also yourself. A lot of times we find it really hard to forgive ourselves, more so than other people usually, right? But it's really important at this moment, because you don't want to be dragged down by that negativity and those depressing thoughts. When we talk about sending love to the people that have hurt you or your enemies in quotation marks, it's because the only person it harms keeping on to those feelings is yourself. Most of the time they are completely oblivious, unaware of it, or unconcerned by it. The only person it hurts is you, because you are holding on to those negative feelings that hurt. You're reliving those emotions over and over and over again because you haven't let go. So now is a good time to try to move past some of those feelings. And it's a great time. I love this. It's a great time to ground yourself in activities such as crafty hobbies, gardening and baking. Anything that just gives you that joy of playing, creating, etc., but in a relaxing, calming way. Whatever you do to get that feeling, do it now. The questions that you want to be asking yourself at this point in time is whether you're feeling particularly insecure. Make a note of that. Try to think about that. Why is that, et cetera, et cetera. Are you spending enough time with your loved ones? As we said, they're the ones that are going to really ground you and make you feel better about yourself and this time and the situation. So make sure you spend time with them. And are you holding on to any grudges? As we said, it's a great time to try to let go of some of that negative energy that you're holding on to so that it doesn't drag you down. The affected organs are more that are going to make me giggle. Actually, I kind of giggle in my head every time I think of affected organs. The word organ is enough to set me off. Stomach, reproductive system, and the breast. I'm laughing mainly because I don't know why I've put it in singular. A really good reminder, I'm going to say something that I know I definitely don't do enough. Check your breasts. When you're in the shower, as often as you can remember, it's so important to check your breasts. Check them for any anomalies, any weird lumps and bumps, any changing discoloration. Keep an eye on those things.
The energy of Cancer rules the chest. That's why that whole kind of frontal area, breast, stomach, it can affect that kind of aspect of our body. Cancer can cause digestion problems and struggles with weight. Those born under Cancer can have a large bust for both men and women. In the case of men, men might exhibit nicely defined pectoral muscles.
Oh, so Cancers are hot. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, that's it. You see, I've got
big
like
pecs or massive tits. Nice.
Yeah.
We covered the aromas: chamomile, lily, myrrh, palmarosa, rose, sandalwood, and yarrow. So again, herbal teas, etc. Yarrow, chamomile, quite often found in teas and stuff. Rose, treat yourself to a bouquet. Lily as well, you might like lilies. And then palmarosa and myrrh, very grounding ones. And yarrow is super interesting because yarrow reminds us to give energy to our healing process and not to allow the energy to overwhelm us.
Very appropriate.
Not surprising that the element linked with the full moon in Cancer is water. So it's very fluid, very emotional. It's also very intuitive and sensitive time, a very nurturing time. There's a lot of positives. I know we're talking about emotional stuff, like everyone's going to be an emotional wreck at this time, but you can harness that emotion and that intuition for good. So really use it as a time to figure out what's going on in your head, you know?
Yeah, and release it as well. We all need a good cry.
I regularly schedule 5 minutes to have a cry, and then I have to be gangster. So feel free to, you know.
Oh, you make me laugh, Dee. You're so Aries. Dee schedules time for a cry.
It's not true. I don't schedule it. It happens, but I allow it. And I tell myself, let it all out so that I can move on from it. The crystals are so fun. I love these crystals. So we've got hematite, which is a great one, a great starter crystal, isn't it? For protection, for grounding.
Yeah.
It comes from the word, you know, like hematology and all that. It comes from the Greek word hema for blood. It is a great stone for connecting your body to the earth. I love that, right? How fun is that?
It makes perfect sense. I've said before, keep it by your feet.
The next one is Lapis Lazuli, which I love. Like I have said before, I'm Arab, I'm Palestinian. And this is one that we have in a lot of our jewelry. The Bedouins in my country and the nomads in a lot of countries, they carried their wealth from place to place as they did all of their possessions. And so quite often they converted their wealth into jewelry. So this is why you might see a lot of jewelry actually made of coins. It's easier to make your gold into a bit of jewelry that someone can wear rather than like in a bag that you have to carry, right?
Why aren't we doing that now? Why aren't we having pound coin necklaces?
So lapis was one that was really associated, because it's such a strong and quite unusual color, it's associated with royalty and nobility because, you know, those are probably the only people that could afford it back in the day. I once went to a whole lecture on the color blue in artwork, which sounds really random and weird. It was with James Fox, who does a lot of the BBC art shows, but it's because blue was a color that doesn't appear that often in nature. Very rarely do you have these bright blues, and whenever you do, it's noted as extremely rare and beautiful, and because it's not so common. It was also a very difficult color to it's one of the last colors that got introduced into the painting world because of this lack of finding it in nature.
Purple as well, although There's a lot of purple flowers, they struggled to make that color for some reason.
And that's why when you have blues and purples and reds in paint and in clothing colors like dyes, back when it was really rare and they didn't have these artificial colorings, it was really rare and therefore really expensive, and therefore only the nobility or the rich or the royalty would have it. I just found that so interesting. So listening to a whole lecture of how it got finally introduced into the artwork and how it changed the art world to finally be able to paint blue skies, for example, was fascinating.
If you look at it though, Dee, especially if you get a bit of lapis with those gold specks in, you can see the regal feeling of it. It's still really special.
Do you know what those gold specks are? Pyrite. Lapis lazuli is a combination of calcite, lazurite, and pyrite. And, I love pyrite because I just think it's so pretty.
Got that sparkly bling. Yeah. Dee the magpie.
I know. Going back to my culture, one of the stories I love about lapis is that we used to believe, or wherever you are on that spectrum, that the spirits of our ancestors were held within the stones of lapis lazuli.
And Cancer's so much about family, nurture, safety. So that's a really lovely reason. Another one why lapis is on this list for this moon, because it's linked to that as well. It's got a really lovely history. It's nice.
And then medical disclaimer, we are not doctors. We have no scientific evidence for this personally to hand, but supposedly it's meant to help you with your immune system, lowering your blood pressure, insomnia and vertigo. And then finally, rose quartz. What I found out recently, which I found so fascinating, you know how I love when science and woo-woo coincide, right?
Yeah.
Well, clear quartz is used in TVs and radios because it actually generates energy.
No, well, I'm saying no. Like, I'm so shocked. Well, yeah, because that's like we use the crystals. Yeah, I was like, but then of course, because that's what I believe in. But to have the scientists back us up, Dee,
we love that. So I don't know what kind of TVs, whether that's still the case or whatever, but there are a lot of examples of these crystals and stones and so forth being used and these elements being used in science and technology. So I just thought that was so
And we always say that clear quartz is the amplifier. Maybe that's where that comes from, if it's amplifying electrical items too. But rose quartz is really good for the heart. It's one
universal love, the stone of universal love. So the heart, that doesn't just mean romantically, but it also means romantically, but it also means friendships, families, unconditional love, trust, harmony, peace in your relationships.
It's a really nice, soothing energy, comforting.
And my wand, I love my wand, but it's got selenite and rose quartz. So it's just
beautiful,
perfect
really
for women in Cancer. The affirmation is a great one. I won't have to explain it too much because I feel like I've done that already. The affirmation is, I radiate love and am nurtured by the moon.
Oh, I love the idea of being nurtured by the moon.
No, because the moon is a very feminine, motherly energy. So it goes well with this idea of love and the rose quartz and so forth. So it's just saying that affirmation to yourself, you're going to feel like, oh, aren't you?
As we're doing this, I sometimes question, why is the moon guiding us through this kind of energy? Like, what is the positive side to this? But it's just really nice to kind of embrace and feel human and connected and feminine and all of that jazz that comes with full moon in Cancer.
And finally, numerology. There's 2 numbers associated with this full moon in Cancer. Number 2, duality, balance, easily influenced by others, supportive and patient and shy. And number 7, which is definitely the moon, the full moon element, mystical, open, but can be aloof and superficial. That's it for us in full moon in Cancer. We hope you enjoyed that.
Hopefully it's a good full moon in Cancer for you all. And hopefully the crystals and elements and everything and the aromas that we've advised will help you through an emotional chapter. But embrace it, enjoy it. Hopefully our guides has helped you through it. Hey, if you ever need an excuse for a duvet day, this is it, right?
Full moon in Cancer. Call your boss. Tell them you can't make it in today because it's full moon in Cancer and you're having a duvet day.
Good plan, Dee. I think that might be my plan. I am my boss, so hopefully I can do that.
Have a nice full moon.
Happy full moon. Bye.
Bye. If you enjoyed that and you want more from us, why don't you head over to our Patreon page, patreon.com/We Knew the Moon, and check out some bonus content.
Also, if you want to stay up to date, you can follow us on our Facebook page at we.knew.the.moon. If you could leave us a review on our Facebook page, that would mean a lot.
Our Instagram handle is the same as our Facebook, at we.knew.the.moon. We are on Twitter at We Knew the Moon 1, and we are also on Pinterest. Just search for We Knew the Moon.
Finally, if you want lots more fun, moon info and all things spiritual, plus our lovely shop, please visit our website, wenewthemoon.co.uk.